Hey, welcome back to episode 14 of Becoming Her Anyways, the hot mess express that I call my life, otherwise known as this podcast. Yay. So episode 14 is being recorded at almost 1 a.m. And the reason I decided to record this is because I wanted to be raw and in my feelings, because I've been in my feelings the last few days. Most recently, a cousin of mine passed away who played a significant role in my life from my teen years, most importantly, up until about 5 years ago when we just sort of lost touch. There were points in our relationship where we were so strongly bonded that we weren't just cousins, we were best friends. There was times that we behaved like siblings. Our parents scolded us like siblings as well. But he was my favorite person for many years of my life, and he was somebody that I connected to on a whole different level. We had our own language, we had our own nicknames. We had this way to like jive with each other where no one else got it. And we had just so many inside jokes that a lot of people didn't get our connection. A lot of people actually were threatened by our connection, but that's not what we're going to talk about. No, we're going to drop that. That being said, we fought a lot too, but I mean, we got over it. I remember like certain hiccups that I would be a pain in the ass to him and he would get mad or vice versa. He dated a lot of my friends too, touche. But we just had this unique dynamic, and I've lost people. I lost my son at birth, and that was tough. It was a different kind of tough though. All the other people that I have lost in my life that I have grieved have not hit me this tremendously, which just makes me realize how much we were connected and how deep that bond was. Because this one's tough. This one's probably the toughest. It's also a reminder that life is short, life is precious, life is sweet. Stop and smell the freaking roses. Enjoy it. And, just embrace the little moments and love on your people and make sure you spend quality time with them. Though we hadn't really connected in years, there was, the occasional here and there, but we didn't really have that same bond. We also live out of province and such, but it's so bizarre to know that somebody that you had such a deep, strong connection with is no longer here. It just fucking sucks. Um, there's really no other way to say it. It's bullshit, but it's the inevitable. Life happens, and so does death. It's like the only guarantee, that and apparently taxes. And I feel like every time someone passes away, we are just reminded to slow the frig down. We're reminded of how beautiful life is and how precious it is. And we're reminded that it can be taken away in the blink of an eye. This was a sudden death. This came with no warning. And it's one of those things where, because it came with no warning, it's not like I don't have closure, but I feel like if there was a warning, I would have just wanted more. I think I would have given more. I would have pushed to reconnect. And this was a person that I loved to the point that I would have gone to no heights. So, I feel like there's steps in grieving. Not I feel like, I know that there's steps in grieving, and I know that it's, one step at a time, but it is a healing process. It is something where I can look back at all the stupid shit that we did, that were young and dumb, um, that I can heal from. All the empty promises. Like, I remember once, probably, oh my God, like maybe I was I was maybe 13ish. No, I had to have been older than that. I had a great uncle who passed away, and I wasn't in my teens. It's probably my great grandmother I'm thinking of, but it might have been in my late teens. Now that I'm thinking of it, I probably was in my late teens. And when my uncle passed away, we had all kind of made this pact, because, that's kind of what you do in your families. You make a pact to stay in touch, and stay connected as frequently as possible. And it's really hard when you have some family that live in one province, some that live in another, and different countries. But we all had kind of made this pact that we would stay connected. And my cousin and I did hold on to that pact for many, many years, together. But the glue just didn't seem like it was strong enough, if that makes any sense. And we all just sort of became unhinged, raising our own children, starting our own families for some. For me, moving out of province completely. And it kind of drifted us all apart. But those childhood memories, those, earlier year memories, those last like for a lifetime. They stick with you for a lifetime. They mold you into who you are. They shape your character. They give you purpose. They give you drive. And I feel very blessed to have had him in my life, just like everyone else that I've lost. It's a blessing because they all kind of sprinkle a little bit of themselves into you. When you're hanging out with someone who's got a strong accent, I don't know about the rest of y'all, but if I'm hanging out with someone who's got a really thick accent, I might all of a sudden start talking with somewhat of an accent. I still hear from people that I sound like I have little pieces of different accents, and it's probably just a plethora of all the people that I've encountered with all the different accents. But you start saying their one-liners. Yeah, that made sense. Their one-liners, or words that they use. But for my cousin and I, we had our own language. We had nicknames for each other, that we would make sure when we called each other, we would say the nickname to each other. I can't even bring myself to say it right now, but we'd use our nicknames. And those are like memories that I won't have with anyone else, and that I'll cherish forever. From giggling our freaking pants off, giggling our pants off till I peed myself. Yes, that happened once. To being tossed in a pool by a beast with one freaking arm because he had a cast on. Just the crazy things, from each other's weddings to first children and births, the loss of my son and being held up, all those little things that you get to cherish from people after they're gone. I wonder if it would have been different had I known that this day would have come so soon. It would have been different. But that being said, I think that everybody is a little, sprinkle of who we are. So this one particular person was not just a sprinkle, he was a freaking bucket. And a lot of who I am is because of the bond that we had. And he taught me a lot of lessons, not necessarily, he was trying to teach me the lesson, but seeing him screw up on things and screwing up with him together taught me a lesson. He helped me mature, just become a better person. So death sucks, but it's going to help me heal even more because it's going to remind me to take a deep breath and hold on to the little things, like decorating the house with my daughters yesterday and my daughter's boyfriend, who's never done it before because they don't celebrate Christmas. Well, he will be this year. Just spending quality time with them. Just, it's going to slow me down enough to appreciate those things a little more. So I feel like I wanted to share that, just be raw and real, because this is the shit we go through in life, right? Sometimes life's gravy, and then sometimes life throws you a curveball, and a curveball that comes out of nowhere can smack you in the face real freaking hard, and this one definitely has. That said, it's a very powerful tool to feel pain, because without pain, you don't know what love feels like, and you don't embrace it and hold on to it that much more. So, I totally got this, girl. So do you. And for anybody who is going through it right now, go through it. You know, cry, have your moments. Just don't unpack in them completely. You totally got this, girl.